Welcome to Rolling Hills Radio with Ken Hardley. Join us for an hour of music and conversation from Shawbucks in Jamestown, New York. Tonight's guests are Mollie O'Brien and Rich Moore and Aaron Lipp. Now please welcome our host, Ken Hardley, with Mollie O'Brien, Rich Moore, and Aaron Lipp.
Standing at the corner of the bucket in my hand, looking for a woman that ain't got a man. Honey, let me be a salty dog. Let me be a salty dog, or I won't be a man at all. Honey, let me be a salty dog. Standing at the corner with a low down blues, a great big hole in the bottom of my shoes. Honey, let me be a salty dog. Let me be a salty dog, or I won't be a man at all. Honey, let me be a salty dog. Look at here, Sal, I know you run down stock and a worn out shoe. Honey, let me be a salty dog. Let me be a salty dog, or I won't be a man at all. Honey, let me be a salty dog. Down in the wildwood, sitting on a log, finger on the trouble and an eye in the hog. Honey, let me be a salty dog. Let me be a salty dog, or I won't be a man at all. Honey, let me be a salty dog. Wait for you till I turn blue. There's no nothing good man can do. Honey, let me be a salty dog. Let me be a salty dog, or I won't be a man at all. Honey, let me be a salty dog. Let me be a salty dog, or I won't be a man at all. Honey, let me be a salty dog.
Rolling Hills Radio is funded in part by the New York State Council on the Arts Decentralization REAP Grant Program, with support from the New York State Legislature and Governor Andrew Cuomo, and administered by the Tri-County Arts Council. Rolling Hills is underwritten in part by the Chautauqua Regional Community Foundation and by the Jamestown Gazette, the hometown newspaper with good news.
Thank you, Julius Cecil Hanley, and welcome to Rolling Hills Radio, brought to you from Shawbucks, the club concert venue nestled in the entertainment district of the city of Jamestown on the shores of beautiful Chautauqua Lake. On Rolling Hills Radio, you'll hear grassroots Americana music from a wide range of genres. In this episode, we feature a couple of first-rate instrumentalists. And first up, with one of those guys, is a woman who is generally considered to be one of the greatest singers of roots Americana in our generation. She can sing anything. Blues, country, jazz, R&B, folk, old-timey, and more. She was a regular on Prairie Home Companion. She has done extensive work with her Grammy-winning brother, Tim O'Brien. She was a vocalist on a wonderful tribute album to Bill Monroe, which won a Grammy Award in 1997. And let me tell you what Glenn Meisner, who's been a producer for 40 years, said about Mollie. After recently having the opportunity to record Mollie O'Brien in concert, I quickly realized that Mollie is arguably the greatest of them all. And none other authority than John Paul Jones from Led Zeppelin, If you want to know what singing is all about, listen to Mollie O'Brien. Well, there's that. And we're not even getting into the fabulous guitarist you are about to hear. Here they are with Sunday Street from Love Runner. Ladies and gentlemen, Mollie O'Brien and Rich Moore.
Not a dollar, not a nickel, not a penny to my name. I'm the queen of Tap City. I'm out of the game. A nickel up, a nickel down, another nickel gone. Ain't got a nickel left to carry me on. If I ever get back on my feet, I'll move from Saturday Alley up to Sunday Street. I'll get a paradise that makes me seven all the time. Gonna be living on chicken and wine. I want caviar, 4-star Johnny Walker Black. 6 pretty boys in my gold Cadillac. I'm gonna move where the living is sweet. From Saturday Alley up to Sunday Street. Well, my hands are shaking and I ain't feeling well from drinking King Kong liquor and cheap muscatel. But a little taste of bourbon and breakfast in bed. And $6 million can raise the dead. Just me and the other elite. We're raising high-class hell up on Sunday Street. Everybody says I'm talking out of my head, but nobody badmouths the broad with the bread. All the whores are gonna grab their drawers and say, there goes the trick who mugs Santa Claus. You know it pays to be discreet when you're talking to the queen of Sunday Street. Not a dollar, not a nickel, not a penny to my name. I'm the queen of Tap City. I'm out of the game. A nickel up, a nickel down, another nickel gone. Ain't got a nickel left to carry me on. If I ever get back on my feet, I'm gonna go where the living is sweet. Just me and the other elite. We'll move from Saturday Alley up to Sunday Street.
Mollie O'Brien, Rich Moore.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So Mollie, I'm gonna talk about you for a minute while you're standing right here, but you have been called one of the best in roots music. You have a beautiful voice, and here are some of the words that have been used to describe Mollie's voice. Smoky, powerful, smooth, bright and bold as sheet lightning. So, like the list of that. Oh, you never said that. Somebody said it. You took voice lessons. Tell us about that. Did that help? Did that?
Well, it helped me a lot. I started taking voice. I think I was probably a freshman in high school, and I had a great voice teacher. And she even spelled her name the way I spell mine, Mollie. Mollie Peaky was her name. She was a great teacher, and I think that it's important, especially for young people, not to think that they're going to come out of the chute singing like, oh God, I don't even know who anymore, Mariah Carey or somebody like that. You know, you got to learn how to use your voice, and it really is easy to totally screw it up if you don't sing correctly. And I think often singers, especially women singers, don't, and men too, probably don't really come into their own until their late 30s.
Oh yeah.
So I think so.
What's that about? Maturity?
I think it's the whole package comes together then maybe. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. You were born in Wheeling, West Virginia, right? And then you decided to seek your fortune in Broadway.
Right. It didn't last very long.
Oh yeah.
No, but I had a great time there, and I did try it. I think I lived in New York City for about 5 years, and then I moved back to Wheeling for a couple years, and then I moved to Colorado and started just playing music full time. And eventually, shortly after I moved there, I met Rich over here on my left, and we got married. We had kids, and kind of things that kind of makes your life turn around a little bit, having children. And as we especially, Rich and I were in a band together when we were, before we were married and before we had kids, but we kind of took a hiatus, or some people call it I hate us, from playing in a band together until it's been about 12 years, is that right? That we, something like that. And we've been, just playing as a duo, occasionally with the band.
Sure.
For all that time. So
You did your first album together in 2006?
our first
Do I have that
album,
right?
2006, yeah.
You really blossomed at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really
Get
happened.
rid of the kids and it's easy, yeah.
A lot of nice things happen.
You have all this extra money then when the kids are gone. It's just, what do we do with it? Let's throw it away on a music career.
Well, kind of artistically, you actually met on April Fool's Day, isn't that true?
That's the legend.
Okay.
I think so, but someone disagrees.
Really? Is this a story we want to hear about?
Oh, we can talk about it, sure. I don't know if it'll help the ratings, but,
Okay, well, let's move on then.
That'll get you some feedback.
Yeah, okay. Rich Moore, All Music calls you a fellow who exercises subtle but expert picking. And tell us about that as an accompanist.
Well, I don't play well with others. I think. I mean, I was born and raised listening to some of those great solo guitarists, in the folk clubs back in the 60s and 70s, and, listening to Dave Van Ronk or Mississippi John Hurt or Reverend Gary Davis. They were all soloists, and I just kind of have always been attracted to that. I wish I played better with others, but I just don't.
Just that kind of guy.
I'm just cranky or something. I don't know what the problem is.
Well,
But
all right. Well, can you cheer up long enough to play another song for us?
sure, I'll give it a shot.
All right, great. We have another song from Mollie and Rich. Ladies and gentlemen, Mollie O'Brien, Rich Moore.
Thank you. I heard somebody say love is blind. I heard them say they fool it all the time. They said they figured it out. Oh, you know what they were talking about. It ain't love, it ain't love. If they could find you in the dark, in that secret hiding place you call your heart, and if it don't make you see that the truth can set you free, it ain't love, 'cause you can't tell it true.
Tell the truth.
In everything you think and say and do. Any wrong you might have done will soon be forgiven, or it ain't love. It ain't love if it don't keep you warm at night, or even when it ain't nowhere inside. If you can't hold it close to you without feeling lonely too, it ain't love. It ain't love. Oh, yeah. If it don't make you wanna live till you've given everything you have to give, if it don't make you wanna cry when it takes that train goodbye, it ain't love. It ain't love. If it don't come back when you're down, pick your broken heart up off the ground. If it don't lift you up so high you think you can almost fly, it ain't love. Everybody say that love is blind. I heard them say they fool it all the time. They said they figured it out. Oh, you know what they were talking about? It ain't love. It ain't love. It ain't love. It ain't love.
Mollie O'Brien and Rich Moore. And you can find out more about them on mollieobrien.com. Mollie, M-O-L-L-I-E, O'Brien.com, I before E. Next, we have a fellow who comes from a musical family and has been a professional musician since the age of 16. He's been in numerous bands with reputations of boasting fine musicianship, including the Grammy-nominated Robert Randolph and the Family Band, with whom he appeared on The Tonight Show, with Jay Leno, Late Night with David Letterman, and a while back he left the touring life to pursue projects of his own. He plays instruments too numerous to mention here. Here he is on the guitar, a song he wrote called Blue Darling. Please welcome Aaron Lipp to the Rolling Hills radio stage.
I'm a poor old boy missing you, but I got a friend who's a darling too. Then the sad old song comes around. When you sing, it lays me down. Through the night cries a lonesome song, and even though it might seem sad and long, it fills me up like a river in the spring, just to hear my blue darling sing. In the dead of night you can see there's a light and it's clean and free. Then the darkness says a blue goodbye, shows their way to the truest kind. Through the night cries a lonesome song, and even though it might seem sad and long, it fills me up like a river in the spring, just to hear my blue darling sing. In the age of time there's a song that's sitting right where she belongs, wearing lily white pearls on her breast, mourning for the one she loves best. through the night cries a lonesome song. And even though it might seem sad and alone, it fills me up like a river in the spring, just to hear my blue darling sing. Thank you.
Aaron Lipp with Blue Darling. Well, Mr. Lipp, that's some fine picking you're doing there.
Thank you.
You went professional at the age of 16. Tell us about that.
15 actually, and professional meaning I was in high school, and a friend of mine who's like 10 years older was in this awesome band. They were touring all over. They asked me to come play. It was like a reggae Afrobeat band, and I was playing guitar and organ, and I didn't know what was going on, but
Well, you were 15. Yeah.
I was still going to high school, but I was gigging on the weekends, making money, and then that's what I decided to do.
You play so many instruments. Now, I'm sure I'm not going to hit them all. You play bass, drums, fiddle, keyboards, clavinet, trumpet, harp, banjo, ukulele. Is that right? You play all those? Yeah, that's a lot. And you actually played Hammond B3 organ with Robert Randolph and the Family Band, right?
I did, yeah.
How'd you carry it around?
I didn't carry that one around.
Okay, that's a good decision.
I
right
did
there.
carry my other one around for years before that.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. How's your back?
My back is great because of it.
Because okay, that's why you started playing guitar, probably.
Partially, yeah.
So you toured for a bit. You were on some big-time TV shows, and then you came back home and decided to start your own bands. You kind of settled in, correct me if I'm wrong, bluegrass, traditional old-timey music, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I fell in love with bluegrass, flat-picking guitar, and old-time fiddle music, and started writing songs kind of in that vein. Started a couple bands at home, and started playing out a lot, playing a lot of solo shows, a lot of weddings, and kind of built up a following locally. And I don't tour as much as I used to, which is really nice.
Well, you're from the Finger Lakes region of New York, and there are an amazing number of great musicians that come from there. And did you listen to those guys growing up? Did they show you anything?
I would say some of my biggest influences locally around there were these guys, the Henry brothers.
Oh yeah.
And they're five brothers who are all amazing multi-instrumentalists. If you haven't had a chance to check them out, Bobby, Henry, Bill, Tom, John, and Doug. And I still play with them quite often.
And they've been around for a long time.
They have,
I remember, I was on the same circuit as them in the late 1970s.
Yep.
You remember the 70s?
I do, yeah. I was born in '89. But
All right, why don't you just play another song? Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Lipp.
Traveling down that old lonesome river, thinking about the days left behind. My broken heart is waiting in the shadow of knowing that you're no longer mine. For many years I've lived a life of trouble, rambling all around this old world, until I found the meaning of a true love. Came to me as a pretty little girl, traveling down that old lonesome river, thinking about the days left behind. My broken heart is waiting in the shadow of knowing that you're no longer mine. There ain't nothing that a man can do, my darling, when you have that feeling in your heart. The tears began to fall like a river when the time came for the two of us to part. Traveling down that old lonesome river, thinking about the days left behind. My broken heart is waiting in the shadow of knowing that you're no longer mine.
That was Aaron Lipp, and you can find him on aaronlipp.com. But we'll be back with lots more from these fabulous artists and a very important song about a very nefarious insect. So hang on, we'll be right back.
You are listening to Rolling Hills Radio with Ken Hardley, episode 85. If you would like to be part of our live studio audience, log on to rollinghillsradio.org to get your ticket today, or call the Rolling Ticket Hotline at 716-294-0416. We'll be back after the break with more from Aaron Lipp, Mollie O'Brien, and Rich Moore. The second half of our show begins in just a minute. Rolling Hills Radio is brought to you in part by the Jamestown Gazette and the Comfort Inn. If you would like to be included on the Rolling Hills email distribution list, send your email address to ken@rollinghillsradio.org. To hear or view this episode and all past episodes of Rolling Hills Radio, log on to rollinghillsradio.org. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And now, back to Rolling Hills Radio with Ken Hardley.
Thank you, Julius Isla Hanley. We have lots more to go here from Jamestown, New York. We're broadcasting right up the hill from the lazy Chattahoochee River. You can find us on non-commercial outlets from coast to coast. Rolling Hills Radio is nationally syndicated on Global Community Radio, and it's our intention to stay independent of pressure to appeal to a mainstream audience, with a very few major corporations owning and controlling what information is available to the American public. Independent voices in media are more important than ever. And getting out of the mainstream, yes. Getting out of the mainstream of the mass media means that you never know what you're going to hear. For example, I was listening to a community radio station the other day, and I found out that Teddy Roosevelt and his children had lots of pets in the White House, including a one-legged rooster, a badger, a blue macaw, a small bear named Jonathan Edwards, and Bill the lizard. Bill the lizard. Well, Mollie O'Brien and Rich Moore are going to play another song for us. Why don't you tell us about this song, Mollie?
We're going to do a song about young love. It's a great
How many folks are here with their first love? Oh. Yeah, see, I like asking that question.
Especially only if one person raises their hand.
Yeah. And the other doesn't. You know. Yeah, uh-huh. Well, you know, remember earlier when I was talking about being married and you just wait and you just get there? You know, the real reason we're not divorced is because someone's going to have to clean the garage. And after 36 years, that's not happening, so. It's easier to stay married, so be careful, you two. One of you might be cleaning the garage tomorrow.
So that's what this song is about the young part of the love, the early part, and how things can go wrong. It's called Central Square. 5 roads led from Central Square, but only one led home. good sign, some might say. I saw the road that led to home, but I took another way. I met the boy I came to love one night in Central Square. I loved the way he sang his songs. I loved his coal black hair. I heard him sing, the water is wide and Johnny's gone to sea. Spanish is the loving tongue while he looked right at me. He took me home with him that night. I carried his guitar. He gave to me his only bed while he lay on the floor. I kissed him when I went to bed. I lay awake past 3. I was nearly sleeping when I heard him call for me. We lived together all that year until we drew apart. For I was younger than my years and did not know my heart. I sang along with him one night in quiet harmony until I realized this song was his farewell to me. I made the worst mistake of all. I turned and left him there, and winter had stepped in when I went out in Central Square. I saw 3 stars among the clouds, a good sign, some might say. I saw the road that led to home, but I took another way. I saw the road that led to home, but I took another way.
Mollie O'Brien
Thank you.
and Rich Moore. Mollie, I have to say, I think your voice is just perfect. I can't imagine a way it could be better. It's beautiful stuff.
Thank you.
You were a regular on the Prairie Home Companion Show, and I'd like to publicly thank Garrison Keeler for discovering all these musicians so that we could have them on. We've had a bunch of Prairie Home Companion folks up here, and you were in the gospel, the Hopeful Quartet, right? With
The
Robin.
Hopeful Gospel Quartet, yeah, the second incarnation of it, the next gen of
That was with Robin and Linda Williams,
Robin, Linda,
Garrison
and
Keeler,
GK.
and you.
Yeah.
What incredible harmonies you had! That 4-part harmony. Can you tell us how do you do that?
Well, let's see. About 2 weeks before each show, we would madly send by U.S. mail because we couldn't. I don't think we could attach MP3s yet to our email. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but this was. I'm probably wrong. I'm not that old. But we would madly send cassettes of songs for ideas, Robin, Linda, and I back and forth, and in the mail. And we all had veto power, so we'd try to come up with like 10 tunes that we would work up, and we'd decide, once we'd get to the show Thursday, the show is on Saturday. On Thursday, we'd all show up, and we would figure out who's going to sing the lead. We pretty much knew who was going to do that when we were sending out our material to each other. But at that point is when we would pick all the different parts. And usually, I have a higher voice than Linda, so Linda Williams, and so I would sing the high part. If I was doing the lead, she'd have to find a tenor part below me, and then Robin has a unique way of singing an octave, a third above Linda. Usually when they're doing their duet thing, a third above, but an octave below, and so that's the three top parts of the quartet. And then Garrison would listen to the song and hum. and find a part. He would sing bass, and he was funny about how he said, bass, you just get up there and you just sing low. And he did. He's a great singer. He loves to sing. So he's a true musicologist and true music lover. So
wonderful. Thanks for filling us in. I have a quick question for Rich. Why do you do this?
Why not? I mean, it's a whole lot safer and more fun than my day job was for 20, 30 years.
What was that?
HVAC, heating and ducts and weatherization and energy conservation and sheet metal. Great job for a guitar player. Had a couple of close calls.
Yeah, I see you still have all your fingers, so that went well.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. You folks have another song for us.
We like to say, that you were talking earlier about the fact that this radio show is, you're doing it's not the mainstream thing because but we like to think that what we play, including what Aaron does, is really popular music, just nobody knows about it. So you guys are in on the big secret. So this song is about me moving to New York City at the age of 19. And as we said earlier, I did that when I was 19, and I had done, I thought I was just gonna be so easy to go to New York and become a big star, right? Sure. I'd done community theater, right? So that's all I needed. So this is kind of the epic story of my life so far. I went back home the other day. I saw an old friend who happened to say, "Hey sister, what do you know? Let's sit down and have a cup of joe. A cup of joe, a cup of joe. Tell me your story, I just need to know." Well, I told him all about the big plans I made, all the rules I broke along the way. I had to go, I couldn't stay here in this town and never gone away, never gone away, never gone away. Just had to go, I couldn't stay. Strange, I told him how the big city sounds when all you know is a dumb little town. Narrow minds won't turn around, everybody's talking about you. Why you gone, why you down, oh why you down? Nowhere to go or turn around, oh no. I took one last look and I drove real fast. On down the road I forgot my past. I'd hit the big time, or so I hoped. The bright lights really had me roped. They had me roped, they had me roped. I didn't do as well as I had hoped. But then I found me a real good man. Next thing you know comes a wedding band, a baby or two and a patch of grass. For I know 10 years had passed, 10 years had passed, 10 years had passed. Got a little bitty family and a patch of grass. Now it's 30 years later and I'm back again. I never felt bad about the way I've been. I had a fine old life and a big old time, I tell you. I wouldn't change it for a dime, not for a dime, not one thin dime. It took me years to find it's been a big old time, so let this be a lesson learned. Sometimes your bridges should be burned. This chick ain't coming home to roost. Ain't eating crow or cooking goose. Ain't eating crow or cooking goose. 'Cause where I am is where I roost. La-di-di, la-di-di, la-di-di.
How about that, Mollie O'Brien? Rich Moore on guitar. It's MollieO'Brien.com. Well, now we're going to have Aaron play another song. This is from the latest album of his band, Lipp and the Slack Tones. This is a song called One Traffic Light Town. Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Lipp.
Took a long road to tell me I've been sick of the city. Street lights get old, and my love has grown cold. Always loved country living. The silence keeps willfully giving, but you lost your way. What can I say? Sometimes a smile gets turned upside down in a one traffic light town. And the streets are all empty, and an old friend just sent me a letter that said, you've been seeing red in a cold, dark apartment on the edge of a highway. As the hour hand turns, the feeling still burns. Always loved country living. The silence keeps willfully giving, but you lost your way. What can I say? And a tiny voice tells you, get lost when you're found in a one traffic light town. In a one traffic light town.
Aaron Lipp. Great stuff, Aaron. And you wrote that about your hometown, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
And that was from your album that you actually, it's on vinyl? Do I have that right?
No, we recorded 2 new singles just a couple months ago that are going to be released on a 7-inch 45 vinyl.
On vinyl. Yeah. Anybody remember vinyl? Remember those round things?
Anybody remember CDs?
Yeah,
a thing of the past. Man.
Well, let me ask, why vinyl?
Well, I prefer vinyl for a lot of reasons. I think CDs, when they came out, were really nice. But I think as they've evolved, they end up just getting scratched and getting broken and being, you find them in the backseat of your car or, in the creak of your couch, and they get ruined. And because of that, they're cheaply made. And I think there's something to be said about a nice piece of vinyl that's it's more of a collector's item. And there are some folks who still take really good care of their CDs, but it's I think in general it's not as purposeful or intentional as a vinyl record. It also sounds a lot better.
You like the sound?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people like the sound, yeah. Yeah. It's nice to see someone of your generation looking back not only on vinyl, but traditional music, the bluegrass that you're interested in. And it's like you're a whole new generation. Your generation is becoming interested in the roots music. There's so many great young musicians now. You're not even 30 yet, are you?
I will be in a couple months.
In a couple months, you'll be 30? Yeah, you're but a kid. But, and generations happen. When I started playing music, they had just invented the guitar. And
You're older than you look.
yeah, it's my brand of beer that does it. So, but do you sense that as well now? When our show started, I was turning over rocks trying to find young musicians who do roots music. You guys are all over the place now, and you are excellent.
Thank you.
Has that been your experience? Yeah. Carrying the Americana torch. Well, thanks very much for that. You have another song for us?
I do. Speaking of the old roots tradition, this is a traditional song called Tom Dooley.
Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Lipp.
Hang your head, Tom Dooley, hang your head and cry. You killed my only true love, and now you're bound to die. You dug the grave 4 feet long, and you dug it 3 feet deep. You rolled the cold clay over her and trampled it with your feet. So hang your head, Tom Dooley, hang your head and cry. You killed my only true love, and now you're bound to die. Took her by the roadside where you begged to be excused. You took her by the roadside where you had her clothes and shoes. So hang your head, Tom Dooley, hang your head and cry. You killed my only true love, and now you're bound to die. Trouble, oh trouble, rolling through my breast. As long as I'm living, boys ain't gonna let me rest. Well, I know they're gonna hang me, and tomorrow I'll be dead. But I never even harmed a hair on poor little Laurie's head. So hang her head, Tom Dooley, hang her head and cry. You killed my only true love, and now you're bound to die. So at this time tomorrow, gonna wonder where I'll be. If it wasn't for that sheriff, I'd be in Tennessee. You can lay down my violin and play it all you please, for at this time tomorrow, boys, it'll be no use to me. So hang your head, Tom Dooley, hang your head and cry. You killed my only true love, and now you're bound to die. In this world and one more, gonna reckon where I'll be. Way down yonder in the holler, hanging from a white oak tree. So hang your head, Tom Dooley, hang your head and cry. You killed my only true love, and now you're bound to die.
About that, Aaron Lipp.
Thank you.
All right. What a show. We're about to do a song that was covered by Furry Lewis, Bessie Smith, Ramblin' Jack Elliott, Lonnie Johnson, and lots more. It's called Mean Old Bedbug Blues, and as with many blues songs, it operates on more than one level. It has been speculated that the bedbug here is a metaphor for the way African Americans were treated in the early 20th century, and Bessie Smith used the bedbug as a metaphor for men who mistreated women. Whatever it is, we all agree that bedbugs are a pain, and we're going to sing about them right now.
It don't mean you no good. Yeah, the bedbug is evil. It don't mean you no good. He thinks he's a woodpecker, and I'm a chunk of wood. When I lay down at night, I wonder how can a poor girl sleep. Yeah, when I lay down at night, I wonder how a poor girl can sleep. Someone has holding my hand, the other one biting my feet.
There's a biting bug been following me everywhere that I go. There's a biting bug been following me everywhere that I go. I wanna kill that biting bug so she won't follow me no more.
Bug big as a jackass, he will bite you and stand and grin. Well, big bug big as a jackass, he will bite you and stand and grin. He will drink all the bedbug poison, then he'll come back and bite you again.
I woke up this morning, I was fighting in my bed. Well, I woke up this morning, that bed bug was biting in my bed. Well, I take out my pistol and shot that biting bug dead.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing your time with us. I'm Ken Hardley. We'll see you next time on...
You've been listening to Rolling Hills Radio with Ken Hardley, episode 85. Special thanks to Mollie O'Brien and Rich Moore and Aaron Lipp. The Rolling Hills Radio cast and crew are Kathy Hardley, Everybody Look Busy, Audio, Steve Gizmo Chappell, Aspiring Haberdasher, Diamond Dick Pool, Setting Clocks to Eastern Time, Brianne Fidel, Iguana Groomer, Tom Fidel, Jumper Cable Operator, Nicole Chappell, Sorting Everything by Color, Susan George, Still Using a Rotary Phone, Jim Goodling, Video Kip, Looking Through a Little Hole, Reynolds, and Explaining the Flat Tax to Diamond Dick, Ed Tomasini. I'm Julia Cecila Hanley, reminding you that water and electricity do not mix. Please join us next time on Rolling Hills Radio with Ken Hardley.